So it was quite appropriate that we read the story of Mahatma prabhu and Joyakanda, because not only do we know he can purify humans, but also animals. And initiation in Kali Yuga is open to everyone. And Mahaprabhu's mercy is that he allows any person who has a desire to be purified to take the process. So this mantra, Om Pavitra, Pavitrava, means whether you're pure, which is not really an option in Kali Yuga for most people. It says whether you're pure, impure, we know most people are impure. Om Pavitra, Pavitrava, Sarva Vashtam, Utopiva, Sarva Vashtam means whatever you've done, whatever you've been, whatever your past is, or whether you're pure, impure, or whatever you've done, Yat Smare Punari Vaksham, if you remember Krishna, then you'll be purified. Antar, externally, Bhaya, externally, and Antar, internally. So that means that this initiation is given to anyone who has a desire. There's a beautiful letter by Srila Prabhupada, and he's talking about initiation, and this person was not initiated yet. And Prabhupada said, the real initiation is the disciple's determination to follow. So when the disciple makes that determination, that's their real initiation. So this is, sometimes we think this is the real initiation, but it's not. Your determination, that was the real initiation. And now we're formalizing this. And what is that determination? Whether I'm pure, impure, whatever I've done in the past, doesn't matter. Now I'm going forward. So initiation means from now forward, whatever I've done in the past, those samskaras, that karma, I will not allow that to affect my determination to follow the four principles and chant 16 rounds every day. We just had a japa retreat, and people always ask in the japa retreat, how do you find time? How do you make time? Especially busy people ask this. And my experience is time is given to what is most important in your life. And one devotee told Prabhupada he didn't have time to finish his rounds. And he was only sleeping 4 hours a night. He said, I still don't have time. And Prabhupada said, do you have time to eat? Of course he said, yeah. Do you have time to sleep? And of course he said, yes. So Prabhupada was making the point that what you give priority to, you have time for. So when we take initiation, we're basically saying, these 16 rounds and these four principles, I will give utmost priority to in my life. That everything else will be secondary. I must do this every day. Come hell or high water, I must do this every day. And so then Prabhupada's saying the initiation is your determination. If you have that determination, it's quite easy. It's very interesting. I believe it's in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada talks about fasting. Of course, today we're meant to fast if you won't faint. Some of us faint when we fast, but as long as you don't faint, we're meant to fast. So Prabhupada gives an example that fasting can be difficult, but if the night before the fast you make a determination that I'm going to fast, it's actually quite easy. But if you make the determination, maybe I will, maybe I won't, then all day you're checking in. It's 3 o'clock, maybe 3:30, 3:30, maybe I'll go to 4, maybe I'll go to 4. So what you've done is you've left open the possibility of not committing. So determination means I leave no possibility open to not committing to vowing to commit. That's what it means. the beauty of determination is that it closes all the doors for other options, other actions, other than what I'm determined to do. And so, sometimes we think we're determined, sometimes we think we made a vow, but internally we haven't. We've spoken it with our lips, but we may not have made it internally. If we make it internally, that this is what I'm going to do every day, somehow or other, it gets done, because it's a priority. So sometimes we make vows, but we really don't make them. We make maybe vows, or I'll try vows, or let's see vows. Let's see how it goes vows. Prabhu, can you do this? I'll try. So you know that. Try means maybe not. Maybe yes, maybe not. And vow means only yes. No, maybe not. No, I try. No, we'll see how it goes. Although, Prabhupada, being merciful, said first initiation is to give a chance. So it's like, okay, we don't know. Look at this guy here. Come on, you know. Not sure, you know. We want to be merciful. I'm just using you as an example, generically, yeah. So, okay, it's Mahaprabhu's appearance day, so, you know, we want to be merciful, give everyone a chance. Second initiation, and that's more serious. First initiation is a chance. But still, for the initiates, you have to understand, if it's like inside, it's like, well, you know, we'll try it out, see how it fits. It's probably not going to work. But if it's like, yes, this is what I'm going to do. Now, how can we become determined? A lot of devotees say, I don't know if I'm going to become Krishna conscious in this life. And my reply is, you said that in the last life. So you think like there's no last life, and this was the first time you said that. No. It's difficult, I have to follow the principle. No, you said that in the last life. Krishna gave you another chance, and you're saying it in this life. And my joke when I do japa retreats is, you're at this retreat because in your last life you went to a retreat and you blew it. So it's nice to think, you know, well, you know, we'll try, let's see, it's different. Yeah, you said all that in your last life, which is why you're here. So there has to be a life that you come to where you just say, okay, this is the last life, I'm going to do it. And if we don't, and that's what initiation, at least in my mind, in my consciousness, my heart, to me, that's what initiation means. It's like, I've come to this point where now I'm going to do this. I've been pittering around, lifetime after lifetime, trying it on, seeing different spiritual practices going here and there. And now in this life, I'm going to do it and end and finish my business. As Prabhupada said, finish your business in this life. So, pack your bags, get ready. What did Prabhupada say? Prepare fully for going back home, back to Godhead. So I see initiation as like, okay, I'm fully preparing, I'm packing my bags for going back to Godhead. And this is it. And that's glorious, isn't it? Finally we come to this position in this life that we're going to end our material existence. And here's a little beautiful meditation. Prabhupada said, Prabhupada was asked, will you be there when we go back to God? And he said, yeah, I will be there, and I will introduce you to Krishna. I'll take you, and I'll put your hand in his hand, and I'll introduce you. Okay, that sounds good. So, does that sound good to you? Yeah. We're connected to someone who can get us there, and when we get there, you know, VIP pass, go right and meet Krishna. And then Krishna, you know, he'll take us home, feed us, dress us up, hug us, kiss us, all of this, right? Sound good? Line up over here if you want to apply to that. So here's a little meditation. How many lifetimes have we been in the material world? Well, we can't count. So Prabhupada said, time immemorial. It's beginningless sometimes is translated, anadi karma. Beginningless karma is just like, you know, it's so long, you can't imagine. And in this lifetime, when we leave, the next moment, our hand is in Krishna's hand. That's amazing, isn't it? And all you have to do is follow Srila Prabhupada, and he'll take you back to Godhead. I'm just, you know, the immediate, just so stupid as to not take advantage of that and just wind up your business, finish it. And Prabhupada said, anything that you're thinking of doing, well, yeah, I'll become serious, but I just have to do A, B, and C. Okay, we understand we have needs, we have bodies, and we need certain things. But if it's anything that you need that's going to keep you here, Prabhupada told us, whatever that is, you've already done it in other lifetimes, multiple times. We just forgot. So this is not new. What we're doing here is very old. So these initiates are glorious because they're coming to a point where they're making a vow. Krishna. When they take their vow, you can all go, Krishna. I made my vows when I was 19, and I was 19. I got initiated probably on this day, like 53 years ago. I can't remember the day, nobody knows the day, but it was March of 1970. I was 19, and I look back at that and I think, that was a pretty bold move for a 19-year-old hippie who literally, I was initiated like 3 months ago, was breaking the principles, the no intoxication principle, especially that one. And 3 months later, making a vow, and obviously, those were the days that celibacy was, not a thing. That was the generation that broke celibacy as a thing, and chastity. And so, I look back and I think that was a pretty crazy thing for a 19-year-old to do, to vow celibacy, no intoxication, chant 16 rounds every day. And so Prabhupada said that when you have a relationship with the Guru and you're a person of integrity, you will feel that vow is relational. In other words, my relation with my Guru is not solely based on this vow, but that vow is part of the relationship. Just like in a marriage, it's based on trust. Any relationship is based on trust. You trust that that person will be there for you. And ladies, you probably know this, but if you don't, this will depress you. But Prabhupada said in his books, man, it's difficult for them to be satisfied with one woman. 5 or 10 or 15 or 20, it's like more what they're by nature would want. It's right in Prabhupada's books. That's why Krishna has so many girlfriends. It's his nature. So, but a man agrees to take one wife. Right? Is that wife the most beautiful woman in the world? No. To him, she's beautiful, but not is she the nicest, sweetest? He thinks she is when they get married, but 10 years later he doesn't. And so, not always true. I've heard you say that. Right. Please don't tell her I said that. Because when I get home, that's going to be the first thing she says. Right? But we're being a little light here. But just be realistically, men, they're challenged just to be dedicated to one woman. There's so many women. Marriage is difficult. But there's a relationship there. That even if they feel this desire, this relationship is difficult, this responsibility is difficult, that woman next door, she seems so nice, so sweet. There's a relationship, there's a vow, there's a commitment, and so they do it. And so Prabhupada didn't give this example, but I think it's appropriate in the same way that one has a guru because of affection and love. I'll have to chant my vows, even if I don't want to, I don't feel like it. And I think every initiated devotee will concur with this, that sometimes it was difficult to chant my vows, but we thought, I promised my guru, I can't disappoint him. Not only that, but something equally, if not in some ways more important, when you make this vow, it's not just to your guru, it's not just to Vishnu, the deity, or the devotees here, you're making it to yourself. And when you don't follow it, you let yourself down. And that is actually generally more painful than letting anybody else down to let yourself down. Isn't it? Like, I made this commitment, now I can't even trust myself. My relationship with myself weakens when I commit to something and I don't do it. So it's initiation is interesting because you kind of set yourself up for something amazing, but potentially for something very, potentially destructive, depressing, dysfunctional, discouraging by not doing it, which is, it's interesting. I'll just say it's interesting, and you can expand on what interesting means. But it's a fact. You can lose your sense of self-strength, self-confidence, self-esteem, and so forth when you commit to something and you don't follow through. Do any of you want to leave yet? I'm not very good at convincing them. What am I going to say now? Yes. So, one thing I think is important for us to understand, a lot of us feel that how will I become purified? We feel, I'll never. I don't see how I would develop love for Krishna. I don't see how I can become a pure devotee and so forth. And in a sense, that it's good to think that way. It's a form of humility. But the purification does not depend on us. The purification is coming through the process, through the holy name. And when Mahaprabhu descended, the holy name already existed, but he empowered the holy name. And he empowered it for Kali Yuga because the holy name is there in the Vedas. It starts Hari Ram, Hari Ram, Ram Ram, Hari Hari. Mahaprabhu switched it around because he was always Krishna, 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 Krishna. And some devotees say, well, it's a Vedic mantra and we can't chant Vedic mantras, so they switched it around. Now it's not a Vedic mantra. So you don't have to have Vedic initiation to chant it. You don't even have to have this initiation to chant it, but after the tricky mantras, Gayatri mantras, you have to chant it. You have to be initiated to chant it. In any case, so Mahaprabhu infuses the Maha Mantra with the potential to awaken prema in the mood of the residents of Vrindavan. And before Mahaprabhu came, in Vaikuntha, he said to the gopis, I want to come to this world to glorify you. Because your love is so great, I want to proclaim your love to everyone, and I'm going to go to the world and broadcast your glory. And roll in the dust of Vrindavan. And he said, no. I'll cover you. You can't roll in the dust. That's not going to cover you. That's the golden color. But the point is that when Mahaprabhu came, as we know, he infused the Maha Mantra with this special prema. So now I may think, how could I ever become purified? I'm a very fallen, contaminated person, so many lives of sin, so many past samskaras. I was joking the other day with the devotees. I said, I learned a lot of shlokas when I was a brahmachari, but I remember more Beatles song lyrics than I do the shlokas. And so that's the samskaras we have. Like, how do you erase those lyrics from your consciousness? So now you're all thinking it's your favorite songs, right? Just contaminated you. So, no, that was experiential learning, just to show you know what's in there. But the point is, it's not us who's becoming purified. It's not our effort. It's the holy name can purify anyone, as we read. It can purify an animal. It purified Jagai and Madai. Nobody in this room, nobody in our movement has committed as many sins as Jagai and Madai. No one has just fallen out the way. Right? I hope you're not. Do we have any competitors here? If you think you're thinking you're up there with Jagai and Madai? Yeah, well, if you think you are, the funny thing about Jagai and Madai, it wasn't just like, they became overcome by lust, or they, raped someone, or they were in a bad mood and they killed someone. Well, that's what they did for fun. It was premeditated. And they had an obsession with committing sin. And their goal in life was to commit every sin possible. If there was a sin that they hadn't committed, that would depress them, and they would commit that sin just to check the boxes. So they studied Manu Samhita, because in Manu Samhita, all the sins are listed and the ramifications. They didn't seem to be worried about the ramification for some reason. I guess they were always drunk or whatever. But they would go through Manda Samhita and go down, checklist. Oh, we did that sin, that sin. Oh, this one we didn't do. Let's do that today. So, any of you like that? I hope not. I doubt it, yeah. So, what happened to Jagai and Mada? They surrendered to Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu said, I will accept you on one condition: you never commit sin again. And he said, we will not commit sin again. And Mahaprabhu accepted them. He accepted all their sins. And Mahaprabhu's body is golden and turned black from their sin. So, it's not us. It's the holy name that will do it. It's the process. Now, how does the holy name do it? It's done when it's chanted without offense. That's how it works. Otherwise, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, you could chant 100 rounds a day and go nowhere fast. But he didn't say go nowhere fast. He just said you won't make progress if you're committing an offense. Because the holy name doesn't manifest in offensive chanting. It manifests in offenseless. Here's the good news. I haven't given you much good news yet. I'm a bit discouraged. Okay, it's time for good news. There's a beautiful story. Gaura Swami was chanting, and he asked Prabhupada, I have a difficult time controlling my mind. Is that offensive? It seems to be the 10th offense, inattention. But he was trying to control his mind. You ever try to control your mind and you can't? That doesn't happen to you, only me. I got no response. You're looking at me like, what kind of you from? You control our mind when we chant. No, I don't think so. Yeah. So we all know controlling the mind when we chant is difficult, especially for busy people with too much to do this. So Prabhupada asked him a question. It was quite interesting. He said, Prabhupada, I'm having difficulty controlling my mind. When I chant, is that offensive? And Prabhupada said, are you trying? He said, yes, Srila Prabhupada, I am trying. And Prabhupada said, if you are trying, it's not offensive. So interesting, isn't that? If I'm trying. So then, later, I got confirmation of this, or where this came from. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, what does it mean to commit offenses? It means to chant the holy name without trying to avoid the offenses. That's it. So I'm chanting, but I'm inattentive, I'm distracted, whatever it is. I'm not trying to avoid the offenses when I'm chanting. But if I'm trying to avoid them, even though maybe I can't perfectly focus, because our main offense for us is inattention. But if I'm trying, it's not offensive. Now, for those of you who are not going to be able to come to the chapel workshop, which we're having the weekend after next, I will tell you something that I find very, very, insightful. If you can't come, it would be good if you could, because it will really help you. I believe it will help you. But I want to tell you one thing that I found very interesting. So some of you know, and some of you may have attended, we did a course on self-care. And I would often say the highest form of self-care is good japa. Because it's so powerful. You're really caring for yourself. And so in the self-care course, we have a little meter that goes from I hate myself to I love myself. And we ask the devotees, well, where on that meter are you? Like, I care about my spiritual life, I don't care. I care a lot, I care a little, like that. So, caring is important, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in dividing up 3 categories of inattention, one category is apathy, which means, what does apathy mean? It means whatever. You say whatever, is that where the word came from? Australia? Whatever. You say that? You say it in America. You didn't do the dishes, your wife's like, you didn't do the dishes yesterday, you told me that. Whatever. It's like, who cares? You don't say that here? Yes. He's too old to know. Whatever. sleep during japa. What? Prabhu, you're chanting, it's 32 syllables, I only heard like 28. Prabhu, you're spacing out, whatever. So, apathy. What does apathy mean? I don't care. Your rounds are bad, I don't care. You're falling asleep, I don't care. If you didn't finish your rounds, I don't care. Isn't that interesting? That Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, inattention is the cause of all the other offenses, and apathy is one of the divisions of inattention. But, he says, distraction and laziness are also two other aspects of inattention. In my book, that's also I don't care. Because if you're distracted, you don't care. And if you're lazy, you don't care. Right? So, therefore, I would like to rephrase what Prabhupada said, if you're trying, I would like to rephrase that and say, or add to it, if you care. If you care about your japa, it's not offensive, and if you don't care, it is. So if you're just chanting to get your rounds done, but you don't care about quality, that's offensive. So at least we should care. And so when you take initiation, in a sense you're vowing to care about your japa. Because this is Harinam Diksha, and Harinam is what you're getting, so you have to chant it properly, and if you don't chant it properly, what's the point? It's not going to work. So it's time for a story. You're getting a little summary now for Chapel Diksha. It's also a promotion. So you can sign up outside. You see somebody around. If you sign up in the next 10 minutes, you get 20% off. Already low price. So this is an interesting story. There are some devotees. I know a few of them. I don't know all of them, but they were not following all the regular principles, and they formed a community. Because in those days, that was the days of the hippie communes. And so they formed a community. They're having kirtan. I don't know if they were chanting 16 rounds, but they were chanting something. But, no eating and no gambling they would follow, but no illicit sex, definitely no intoxication they didn't follow. I'm assuming they didn't follow the no illicit sex, but definitely. They admitted that they weren't following all the principles. So the GDC of that area was talking to them, and they were explaining things. But he explained to Prabhupada that they say we are not following all the principles, but at least we're chanting. So the GDC repeated that to Prabhupada, but they said, and Prabhupada said, Nama Parad, third offense, to disobey the order of the spiritual master. But they said, well, at least we're chanting. That's better. Chanting is better than not chanting. Theoretically, but now they're not following Prabhupada's order to follow the four principles. So there's two principles here. Prabhupada enunciated this principle, you're disobeying the order of the spiritual master. And then Prabhupada said something interesting, which is, I hope this will not depress you and make you want to give up, but actually encourage you. He said, that kind of chanting will take them 300 lifetimes because they're offending your guru. So it's like, maybe after 300 lifetimes you'll stop offending your guru. And so if you're committing offense to the holy name, or four principles. Why four principles? Because these are the four pillars of sinful act of life, the four pillars of sinful life. We have to follow those so that our name that we chant is pure. So we have to follow those four principles, try to avoid offenses. The name is pure. Then, if the name is pure, it doesn't matter who you are, what you've been, where you've come from, what you've done. Mahapavitra, it doesn't matter. Because the holy name will do everything. And that is, here's an interesting point. We say do not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name. If you say, I'm too fallen to be purified, I can't go back to Godhead in this lifetime, it may be that you're making that offense. You actually lack faith in the power of the holy name. Because the holy name can do it. It doesn't matter who you are or how fallen you are, not according to Shastra, not according to Prabhupada, the holy name can do it. So we should have complete faith. Okay, I'm rascal number one, but I have faith that the holy name can purify anybody. And if I have that faith, I will take it with faith, and I will chant it, avoiding you will see the results. And one day you will become a great lover of Krishna. Hare Krishna. That is Mahaprabhu's mercy, right? This is Gaura Purnima. This is, when I was a kid, Mukunda Maharaj, you remember that show, The Millionaire? That TV show that started out in an introduction. In this show, someone's going to $1 million. That was like 1950. That was a lot of money. Someone's going to get $1 million. And the show's about what happens when someone gets $1 million. Does that make their life better or worse, or what do they do? And so whenever they would get $1 million, it was like, why are you giving this to me randomly? Like, what did I do? It's just we want to give it to you. Or, okay. Like if someone gave you $1 million, would you give it back to them thinking, you shouldn't give it to me because I didn't work for this? Raise your hand if you would do that. But some of us do that with the holy name. I don't deserve it. Yeah, okay, that's fine. We don't deserve it. We didn't earn it. We didn't do anything other than agree to take it. That's the only earning we did. We were smart enough. Like I tell devotees, I said, I think my greatest quality that I was smart enough to recognize who Prabhupada was and take shelter of him, and smart enough to not leave him. Other than that, I feel like I'm pretty stupid. I've done many stupid things. 19 years of stupid things, but somehow or other, in that 19th year, I was smart enough to recognize Prabhupada, and in the rest of my life, smart enough to stay with him. So, that we have to be smart enough to take the holy name. Right? What do you think? Makes sense? Yeah. Okay. I'm nothing, but I will take it. Prabhupada gave it. Now I have to tell you one other thing. I lived in Los Angeles. When was I there? In Los Angeles. That was the world headquarters for the Hare Krishna movement. I lived there in 1972. I spent a little time in other years, but I didn't live there when Prabhupada was there. So in 1972, Prabhupada was there for 3 months. And I got to listen to Prabhupada give class every day. Because Prabhupada gave Bhagavatam class every day. It's quite amazing, as you could imagine, don't you think? Every day you go to class, who's giving it? Srila Prabhupada. So if you go every day to hear Srila Prabhupada give class, you start to see patterns. Like this. Or you just listen for the next 3 months. Every day, listen to a class of Prabhupada. You see patterns. And there is one pattern that flows through Prabhupada's class, and I think all of Prabhupada's disciples or anyone who's listened to his classes about the same. It's always this sense of urgency. Do it in this life. Do it in this life. You have the opportunity. Don't. Prabhupada didn't say it this way, but more or less, don't be stupid. So I was in one class, and Prabhupada said something classic. Some devotees had left, and they were recording to Prabhupada. And often, if there was some situation going on, Prabhupada would address it in the class, because it was people were feeding us. Prabhupada, this is happening, and devotees are thinking this way, devotees are saying this, and they're doing this. So they feed it to Prabhupada, and sometimes it would come out in the purport. In the Bhagavatam, sometimes it would come out in class. So Prabhupada's addressing this, devotees are leaving, and Prabhupada said, more or less, I'm not sure the exact words he used, but I believe Prabhupada said, before you became devotees, you were all rascals and demons. So don't go out today and tell somebody, before you were devotees, you're definitely a rascal and demons. But Prabhupada said, I definitely remember him saying, you're all rascals and demons. And then he said, well, he might have said rogues. Yeah, Prabhupada had these rogues and demons, rogues and rascals. These are considered very harsh words in the Indian vocabulary. We don't really use the word rogue or rascal so much, but that's kind of like if you think of a pretty low term to call someone, it's equivalent to rogue or rascal. And demons agree with that also. And then Prabhupada said, and now you've become devotees, and you've been elevated to the highest position. He said, but approach. If you give up this sangha, if you give up this process, again, you become rogue and rascal. And he said, you are now the most fortunate because you have Krishna consciousness. And he said, and if you leave, you will become the most unfortunate, more unfortunate than people who never had this opportunity because you had it. And they have not lost the opportunity, they have taken it. You took it, you gave it up, you lost it. You're more unfortunate than people who never took it up. Whoa. What do you think? So this theme was woven through so many lectures of Prabhupada. Do it in this life, don't come back again. Don't make me come back again. Finish your business. And the message is, you can finish your business in this life. But like you. Me? I can do it. What are you talking? Yeah, you can do it. Really? I can do it? Yeah. Take the holy name without offense, you can do it. Now, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name. Okay, here's a problem. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta very nicely explained this. He said, when you commit offense to the holy name doesn't properly manifest. You can actually have an external, it's like you see the deity. The deity's there, but if you don't have the heart to see it, you see marble. Or we say your heart is like stone, you see the deity is stone. Your heart is like stone, the holy name becomes material. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, if you commit offense, then when you chant the holy name, your faith won't develop because you're not connecting with the proper holy name. So your chanting actually causes you to lack faith because you're not experiencing anything. The converse is true. When you chant without offense, you have a deep experience with the holy name, and therefore your faith increases. I actually could become pure because it's not me. It's this name can do it. Mahaprabhu has done everything. So, as we were saying before, you get the $1 million check. Okay, I don't deserve it, but Mahaprabhu's giving me the $1 million check, so should I accept it? Of course. And the big question comes up, well, why is he doing it? We're not qualified. Is that really that important? Like, the guy gives you $1 million and says, okay, just go to the bank. Don't worry about why he gave it to you. I just really want to know why you like it. Is there something wrong with you? Is this a mistake? Do you think I'm somebody else? Just take it and run. So, why is Mahaprabhu giving this mercy to us? And you know the answer? The real answer? Well, there's a couple real answers. Because he wants to. And God can do whatever he wants. But there's another beautiful answer. When a wealthy man gives you charity, how much does he give you? $10? $100? $1,000? No. He's wealthy? 100,000, $500,000, million, $5 million. How about the person who has all the wealth in the world? When he gives charity, what does he give? So here Mahaprabhu is now manifesting the prema of Radharani. He has that. He's in a magnanimous mood. Okay, let's just give the prema of Radha. Mahaprabhu. You want the definition of Mahaprabhu? An interesting one. The Prabhu who has Mahabhav. The Supreme Lord with Radharani's Mahabhav is Mahaprabhu. So now he's in Mahabhav of Radharani. What's Radharani all about? She's all about compassion, giving. So he has love. He's got millions of dollars of love. And he's just like, okay, let's just give it to the Jagais and Madhas. Why not? It's like, and all we have to do is be smart enough, be intelligent enough to take it. And one time Hari Prabhu asked Prabhupada, why does somebody take it and somebody doesn't? And Prabhupada said, because some people are intelligent and they take it. So, this is Prabhupada's message. Finish your business this life. Be intelligent. This is what initiation is supposed to be all about. Being intelligent, committing, finishing your business. I've tried in so many lives. I made so many excuses. Next life, next life, next life. That's why we're here. And I'm still making them. And maybe in the next life. Oh my God. Okay. Another lecture Prabhupada gave. This was in Los Angeles. I grew up there. So when he said this, I was thinking of Beverly Hills. He said, if you don't become purified, you could take birth in a wealthy family, so it was Los Angeles, and I was like, okay, Beverly Hills. So I lived in Beverly Hills, and I had friends in Beverly Hills, and I worked in Beverly Hills. So I was thinking, oh, I'm going to take my next birth in Beverly Hills, in a rich family. And that would be cool. Then I won't have to work. Which is why Prabhupada said, he said, you take birth in a wealthy family because you don't have to worry about money, so you can practice your spiritual life. You're just like, you're spoiled. Silver spoon, you don't have to worry about money. And then Prabhupada scared us, and he said, but, and this is obviously true, if you look at wealthy people, he said, but you could get spoiled by that wealth and deviated by it and give up your bhakti. So we're all thinking, yeah, well, if I don't do it in this life, next life, yeah, don't trust. What's the saying? Don't trust no future, however pleasant. Yeah. Don't trust the next life. Well, what if I'm born in a family of devotees? Yeah, but it doesn't mean you're just going to be a devotee. In case you didn't realize it, whatever difficulties in an art that you haven't given up and purified in this life, guess where they're going in the next life? They're traveling with you. You're going to meet them in the next life. So, and then the next life comes and it's like, oh, I have the same anger issue, or the same resentment issue, or the same lust issue. You still have to deal with it. So why not just finish now? Why come back? Oh, I want to end with some nectar. Thick nectar. It's my daughter's research paper. So she's doing research on family and adolescent dysfunction. And it's all, quoting all this research that's been done on this. Of what all the stages and dysfunctions adolescents go through, why they go through, all the dysfunctions families go through. And I told my daughter, we should make a book and distribute it, because if devotees read this, they'll never want to take birth again. Because they don't want to go through adolescence again. You don't realize how bad it was until you analyze how bad it was. You read the analysis at this age, they think this way, they respond this way, and this trauma, and this dysfunction, and this, it's like, I was like, oh my God, I'm not totally serious when I read that. I was like, I'm not taking birth again. So, if you want that paper, just send me the Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So we're going to give the initiates their names, and Srila Chaitanya is here. He's taking second initiation. I don't know if you know, but everyone was telling me, are you giving the Srila Chaitanya? I go to India. Are you giving the Srila Chaitanya second initiation? I don't know. You should give it to him. And then I heard the teacher's like, yeah, you should have it. Okay. So you know what I said? When I heard that, I said, what? I'm just a servant. What did I just say? I was going to tell you something. I was going to say one more thing.
Give us the names. We're going to give them the names.
I was going to say something about...
Give them the names.
I know that, but I have one more story now. Maybe I didn't.
Nectar. The nectar. Thick nectar.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is.
Oh.
No, the thick nectar is my daughter's research paper. Never come back again. That's the thick nectar. Okay, so the initiation includes 5, it's called Pancha Samskar, 5 purificatory activities. In ISKCON, we divide them into 2 initiations, so you get some of them the first initiation and some the second. One of the purificatory rites is to give a name, a spiritual name. Prabhupada said the spiritual name is not, the initiation is not complete unless we give them a spiritual name. So that's what we're going to do now. And this name is meant to remind us of Krishna, to remind them of Krishna. And I'm going to put their name. Now, I'm going to teach you how to pronounce their name. I have no faith that you will ever pronounce it properly again. But at least I tried. I go down trying. It's not easy. I would say the majority, or quite a number of devotees pronounce their names wrong, and everyone else pronounces their names. It's a different language, and it's got accents. And then there's a Bengali accent. Okay, so we're going to start with Clinton. So what I'd like you to do is go to Srila Prabhupada and pay obeisances to Prabhupada, and if you haven't yet done it, you can do it again if you have. Ask Prabhupada to accept you as accept Prabhupada as your Parama Guru. Ask him to accept you as your Siksha disciple. This is your most important relationship. I'm just having Prabhupada. Now I had a problem with Clinton's beads. I like them so much, I was thinking, I'll keep these and give him a chance of mean around. He's got to open a Tulsi shop. He's like the master of Tulsi. And he's coming to pay obeisances. This is the austerity being a guru, because we're all, spiritual masters. None of us are masters, we're all servants. So Prabhupada said, thankless task to be a guru, you have to take the post of master and chastise your disciple. I'm not a good chastiser guru, so I lack that part. Okay. We need to know how many rounds you're going to chant and what the principles are.
16 rounds, no meat eating, sex, and no intoxication.
So, Las Vegas. What are you doing in Las Vegas? So I have a new one. If you can't remember all the 4 principles, just say, I won't go to Las Vegas except to the temple. Because Las Vegas is the center for, you know, they have a temple in Las Vegas. You should do that. That's the center for breaking the 4 principles. It's called Sin City. If you're dead and you get nervous, I'm not going to Las Vegas, except to the temple. Now, he's going to chant 16 rounds. You're going to chant it in bed, or what? Watching television? Okay, say it so the world hears. You're going to say that.
16 rounds, no gambling, no meat, no intoxication.
Okay, now, look at this guy. He's one tough dude. So, I'm going to authorize all of you, if you find out he's not chanting 16 rounds attentively, following principles, you are authorized to beat him up. And you, my instruction to you is you cannot defend yourself. Let them be in there. Feed sense into you. Okay. So Clinton, your name is Chaitanya Jivan. It's actually in Sanskrit, it's Jivana. But as bona fide Aussies, you truncate words as far as possible. There's no question you would say Jivana. Okay? That's like an extra syllable. That would like take another breath. That would totally destroy the chill factor. That's an Aussie chill factor. Right? So he's Chaitanya Jivan, and it's a long G. So it's Chaitanya Jivan. And if you're Bengali, it's Chaitanya. So if you want to have fun with him, go, hey, Chaitanya Jivan. Chaitanya Jivan. If it's Bengali, the A becomes O. Chaitanya Jivan. And Jivan means life. There's a verse here I've given him. The life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Jivan. So all the devotees are the life of Chaitanya. So you serve devotees. And another verse it says, Chaitanya Jivan, the devotees consider Mahaprabhu their life and soul. So it's like Chaitanya Pranadana is my life and soul. So Lord Chaitanya is your life and soul. The devotees who serve him are your life and soul. The life and soul of Mahaprabhu, you're there serving him. well. But women, come a long way, baby. I think Clinton has come a long way. So, he has a lot of weights at his house. I'll be working out this week, and he doesn't follow. I'll be the first one to Okay, now, something very unique has happened. Dee is getting initiated. The reason it's unique is that in the modern age of Zoom, this is the first time we've actually seen one another live and in color in person. And this is weird for me. I've initiated devotees I've never met, or I've initiated devotees and I meet them the day of initiation. It's like one of those marriages, you meet your wife. The day of the marriage. So, it's nice to meet you. Hare Krishna. All right. So, we are all disciples of Prabhupada. He is our Parama Guru. So you go to Prabhupada to ISKCON Temple. He's asking to accept you as a disciple. I am offering you to Prabhupada. And it's not like Prabhupada's not there for all of us. He is. And I'm just helping him somehow or other. All right. Okay. So how many rounds do you choose?
16 and 20.
Good. I can't tell you to beat her up if she doesn't. Well, I have a stick. I have a toothbrush of Vajrayana. I beat people up with that. If she's not doing it, get a flower and throw it at her. And she'll and throw flowers at you. And the principles?
No gambling, no illicit sex, no meat eating, including fish and eggs, and no intoxication.
Okay. Oh, no, I know this. Pause. Suspense. Before I forget. I'm not sleeping enough. And when I'm sleeping enough, I don't even know what day it is. We go through time zones. And I thought I got to the temple at 5:15. It's like, well, we went through a time zone. So, I want to tell the story, so. We're pretty on pause. I forget. I said I was going to tell a story. None of you know this, but there is a disciple of Prabhupada named Srimad Chaitanya. So I'll wait because it's because I can. Yeah. I'm really confused. It's the fasting. Okay. So I heard a rumor you like Radharani. But your name starts with a D, and there's no specific Radharani D names. Well, maybe there are, but I didn't like them. Well, how could I not like a Radharani? I didn't say that. I didn't think that. But we have something else, which is Radharani. Also. So, your beats. Oh, yeah. Who knows what this says? Sridhar. I already have a disciple named Sridhar. So. Your name is... drum roll, please. Your name is Devi Shakti Devi Dasi. So there's a verse, Mahatma prabhu Devi Prakriti. So Prakriti means nature, Devi is transcendental, Shakti is energy, it's the same thing. And Radharani is the internal potency. Right? So when we say Hare, that's Radharani, that's the internal energy. If we want to live in the internal energy, then there's Maya Shakti, right? The external. So the personification of the internal energy is Radharani. Right? there's always a person behind energy. So that Daivi Shakti is the internal potency, right? And she works in the, what do you call it, Krishna village? Yeah, so we had to get a name that wasn't too difficult to pronounce. And then they have choice. They can call her Shakti or Daivi or DS or whatever. The Aussies will figure it all out. Daivi Shakti Devi Dasi Ki. So now I have to talk about Nrsimha Chaitanya. This is interesting. Nobody knows the secret. So we have a godbrother named Nrsimha Chaitanya, and I worked with Nrsimha Chaitanya in San Diego, California in 1974. And I've stayed in touch with him off and on. And he left his body a few years ago in Vrindavan, and he had gone through a black night of the soul, a spiritual crisis previous to that. He was kind of in and out of Krishna consciousness. And the devotee that was helping him was the editor to my book, Living with Wisdom of Bhakti, and she really liked the book. And so she would read it to him, and she said it really, really helped him. And she wanted me to have his watch, so she gave me his watch. And then we had Nicholas Prabhu, and we named him Nrsimha Chaitanya. And her was been in Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, I gave him Nrsimha Chaitanya's watch. So now he has the Prabhupada disciples' watch, Nrsimha Chaitanya's watch. Nrsimha Chaitanya Prabhu Ki. So, what a wonderful day to be initiated, and what a wonderful day for all of us to remember Mahaprabhu and perform the Yuga Dharma, which is Sankirtan Jagat. When Krishna was coming down, when he passed through Mathura, Vasudeva merged in his body. When he passed through the Vaikuntha planets, all the Vishnus merged in his body because they are responsible for the Yuga Dharma. So they came to establish Yuga Dharma, which is the chanting of the holy name. And then Mahaprabhu personally relished the position of Radha. That's why he came. So this is the Yuga Dharma. So we can do kirtan as much as possible. It's a good thing. So I will turn it over to our Brahmins, priests, expert, trained up since they were like 6 or something. How old were you when you first started?